Luca Stoltz is your race leader. Dorian Boccolacci is second. Jamie Day is third. Fourth is Augusto Farfus, who by only having one pit stop has vaulted up the order. Fifth is Horatio Fitz-Simon in the blue and grey McLaren leading silver. And sixth is Etienne Shelley. Eric Shelley's son, former Formula 3 racer, 43,000 racer, and he is second in silver. So for fifth on the road and the silver lead, there's going to be a battle as there is outright. So we've seen in the first stint, Engel battling with Picariello. Now it's Stoltz versus Boccolacci for the race lead. We're green again at Monza as we go racing at the end of lap number 28. Through they go. Mercedes versus Porsche down to turn one.
Yeah, Farfus and Day third and fourth. I think they're going to have to box at the end of this lap to not exceed their stint time. It was a good restart by Boccolacci because Stoltz was left to right, wasn't he? Weaving on the final weave. He dropped it. Safety cars breed safety cars. How's it looking at turn one?
So far, so good. That Day and Farfus have had one pit stop, so stint time sort of reset as a legacy, but you're right, they're going to have to be, or the teams are going to have to be on their toes to make sure that they are brought in before they incur penalties for the amount of time behind the wheel. Safety car has parked itself in the pit lane. I suspect we might see it again before the end of the day, as there is Farfus and Horatio Fitz-Simon in the McLaren behind. New to GT3, new to modern racing really this year, Horatio. Very, very good in historic single-seaters and sports car racing. There he is, leading silver. That behind is Etienne Shelley, up from GT4. And further back there, the Greystone McLaren, the turquoise car on the inside going through just. That is Josh Rattigan, GT4 champion, going through, makes the move stick. Gets ahead of Robert Renauer in the black Porsche. Second in bronze now, isn't it, for Darren Lung? But 87, which has got Gabriele Piana at the wheel, leading the class. And Piana currently is in fifth place overall there in that turquoise Winward Mercedes. And he's giving energetic chase to Etienne Shelley as they come down to turn one.
Yeah, Sean Galea all over the rear of him. So he's had quite a feisty start, hasn't he, aboard the Ferrari. I want to correct myself actually on Rattigan. He's on the same tyres as Raponge. I thought they were on a different strategy. Those two McLarens running 14th and 15th, identical tyre life.
In behind is Benji Goethe. There next up is Jordan Pepper, number 32 BMW. That car was well placed. It's fallen back after now 4 pit stops for number 32. So they're trying to, again, to play the strategy. Hugo de Wilde, Benji Goethe, Dante Raponge, Josh Rattigan all into the pit lane this time around. And surely Sean Galea owes us a pit stop now if it is still him in that car.
Although he is in his stint where I think they've done their asterisk pit stop, so he's doing the double effectively because stint time wise he is okay and it does all tally up. I appreciate it feels like he's been in the car a long time. As long as he doesn't do in more than an hour and 27 minutes, which we're okay on at the moment, it could still be him. Okay, so he's coming to the end as the Ferrari goes through the chicane. Horatio Fitz-Simon is getting away now slightly from Etienne Shelley in the Silver Cup fight. There is the venerable Audi run by the Santaloc team, the French team. Behind that is Gabriele Piana, who's had a tough day in GT4, tough weekend in GT4 indeed. But Gabriele reminding people, I can do GT3 racing as well. He was part of the Winward team in Asian Le Mans and I think quite keen to be a regular feature in GT3 racing, but his success rate in GT4 still pulls him back in there. He is fending off, though, the challenge of the best of the Ferraris, and that is the Sean Galea car that goes through now. Through the chicane they come, and Galea makes his way now once more down towards the Parabolica. A little bit further back, Franck Pereira's Lamborghini has done an absolute best first sector on this lap. The Temerario getting quicker and quicker the more development it has. Galea pulls out of the draft, has a look to the inside line. Race lead gap has stretched again then as they come out of the Parabolica. You can see on the AWS Race Vision graphic the fastest driver through the Parabolica was, before the car retired, Maxime Martin, 177 kilometres an hour through the corner. Gilles Stasbader's Ferrari, 176. Dante Raponge McLaren just a little bit below on 174. Leaders go by 7 tenths last time. It's stretched, in fact, over the lap. 11 tenths. There is 23 McLaren. Let's listen in.
Good job, mate. Mega job. Keep full focus ahead. Focus on the cars in front. Get away from the car behind. You've got this. Head down. Let's go.
Horatio Fitz-Simon being urged on by his engineer, and he's absolutely right, as there the 2Cs Verstappen Mercedes has parked. It was way back in 44th place, and Chris Lulham has parked the car. That's at the Ascari chicane. Has he gone through the gravel? Has he had a moment? That does not look like it's in a hurry to rejoin, does it?
No, has he gone off because of a problem would be my guess.
Full course yellow is coming. It's in 20 seconds. It's now in 10 seconds time. The pit entry is now closed, so nobody can make a pit stop for the moment, and the gap comes right down as we go full course yellow. This our third caution period of the race. So full course yellow. It might only be a short one to get that Mercedes out of the way.
Yeah, WRT need this to be a long one and open. This would be the only way they can get to the end without doing an extra stop, without going over that maximum stint time. But, like you said, David, pit entry is closed. I don't think it will open either. I think this will go back to green. Interestingly, I think the Porsche there, just tucked up behind the yellow Winwood car, did a better job of getting down to 80. As long as he was at 80 at the 0, I think that gap has shortened ever so slightly between our lead two.
I would go along with that. It was 0.7 of a second when they came across the timing line, and it certainly looks less than that to the eye as the cars now go once more down through turn 1. Well, they're being kept busy in race control, aren't they? Niels Vitic, the race director, and the championship officials working with the regular local officials here at the Monza circuit to say, OK, right, car there, how long is that going to take? Where do I need to get a breakdown from? How long is it going to take to get there? How long to clear? How long to get back to post? Do I need to do another full course yellow lap, or can I go green this time? All of those conversations happening in double quick time, and it's ending on short notice. It is ending. We go back racing now then. So just a full course yellow, and this is the opportunity Dorian Boccolacci needs to try to go for the race lead. Horatio Fitz-Simon ain't that far behind in third place in the RJN McLaren. It's nose to tail. Mercedes and Porsche, and way up the curve is Lukas Stolz.
Yeah, this that RJN McLaren that has done it. We heard from the engineer, didn't we, over the radio? RJN are having the race of their life so far. Of course, they were so fast back in the Nissan days.
That's right.
Winning the championship in the Blancpain days. But now with this McLaren, finally, I think I could hear the excitement in the engineer's voice. They know they're on for a result in their class, let alone overall. At the moment, I don't think Fitz-Simon knows that. He's going for the lead.
And don't forget, you've got Ben Dorr still to come. And with respect to Max Lynn and Horatio Fitz-Simon, Ben is the one that's done more McLaren GT3 racing, whether it's in this or the DTM. So they've got their trump cards still to play. Pressure on Horatio Fitz-Simon in a sense here to keep the car in the mix. But boy, is he joining the party. He's closing on the Porsche. And Dorian Boccolacci now, instead of going after Lukas Stolz, is having to think about where he fends off that McLaren. Horatio Fitz-Simon going great guns.
That McLaren's amazing. The only thing I worry there, under braking for the Parabolica, the front end really bouncing along. The car used to struggle from the splitter stays cracking, and the splitter was going. We'll just keep an eye on that. Hopefully it was just the bumps there. But this car has turned its tyres on much quicker than anything else around it. And you're right with Ben Dorr. He was fastest yesterday in free practice too. Fastest driver out of anyone in qualifying this morning. And they've still got him to go.
And Fitz-Simon is having to go at Dorian Boccolacci. Down towards the chicane they come. Lukas Stolz now needs to make hay, doesn't he, and get away while Boccolacci fends off Horatio Fitz-Simon as they go out of the chicane. Power on up now towards the Curva Grande. Behind them in fourth place is Etienne Shelley, but he's falling away. Second in silver. Fifth is Gabriele Piana leading bronze. Sixth is Sebastian Urgaard, another Silver Cup driver. This is the most unlikely race order, but a really fascinating race it is, and it's game on for second place.
And full course yellows allowing. We've got another 16 laps or so of this stint in the middle of the race that these drivers could go. So we've got a huge treat on our hands. Bob Neville will be looking as Sean Gallel finally gets out of the car. And like I said, he couldn't go over 127 minutes. So they've had to stop that car there. Maybe wanted a bit earlier, but obviously pit was closed under the short full course yellow.
Yeah, but tell you what, Lukas Stolz likes his curb, doesn't he? Every time I look at that Mercedes, it seems to be clambering over a curb somewhere. And we're also getting a penalty for Lorenzo Patrese for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Okay, mate. No risk. We're still P1 in class and P3 overall. Just stay with these boys. They'll tow you along. Yeah, copy.
Horatio Fitz-Simon, always very quick in historic single-seater racing, predominantly. Raced a lot in the UK, but we're talking largely club level, admittedly, but he's also raced in the States, coming up to race at this level. The more time he spends in the car, the more time he finds, the better he gets, the more confident he gets. And to be running up in third place, this will do his confidence a power of good, as will the fact that he's also got a gap over Etienne Shelley. But although the engineer was saying no risk, just stay with them, they'll tow you around, if he gets a little bit stuck behind them, he could get caught by the Audi before the end of the stint, couldn't he?
Yeah, it looks like the other two in front have just turned their tyres on to the same point, and now they're running at a similar pace. I still worry about the bouncing under braking for that RJM McLaren. As you can actually see the BMW from Paradine there, the silver car is potentially going to get the blue flags. Christian Hahn has taken over that 992 BMW. Let's keep an eye out for blue flags and what the rule today is going to be with penalties.
As they're going through is the surviving Boutsen Porsche. That's a line we've had to use far too often this year with the constant problems that number 10 has of being involved in other people's accidents. But Dorian Boccolacci then was 0.8 of a second back at the start of this lap. Stellanios Kolovos getting out of people's way, but that car not really running at a true pace, as Gabriele Piana still 5th. Not quite close enough to Etienne Shelley to have a go. And there you can see now that the back marker has interrupted the lead battle. So Fitz-Simon closer to Boccolacci than Boccolacci is to the leader, which is still Luca Stolz. The fastest lap of the race from Maro Engel in the first stint. We have an hour and 27 minutes to go, as we are then just into the second half of this race. And Luca Stolz leads the way. But never have we had a really big gap. I don't think ever in the race, no matter who's been in the lead, it's been as much as 2 seconds. New fastest lap, Dorian Boccolacci. Gap down to 1.2. And there's a right old traffic jam here, isn't there? Darren Lung, Charles Dawson, then you've got Ahmad Al-Hafi, then Johnny Adam. Behind Johnny, who has just gained ground, Amaury Cordial. Then you've got 96, Marco Mappelli, and aboard 35, Gaspar Simon there, the SRO GT Academy winner. Let us go to the pit lane. I hear from Max Lynn from the 23 McLaren with Bryn.
Well, Max, that was a tricky start for you, starting way back down the order, had to pick your way through, but now you're in P3, and there's a real possibility of a podium, or even better, further up the step.
Yeah, look, we're taking it step by step, and we've got Ben going in last, who's obviously super fast, and yeah, car's going really well. These RJM boys have done a great job. We know we had a good race car going into it. Like I said, turn 1 was very hectic and just had to get through there safely, going through the chicane, but yeah, it's all going well.
I mean, other than the fact that there was a lot going on ahead and you had to pick your way through, what's been the one thing you can take from this race, from how you set the car up and how you guys have worked together?
Luckily, all 3 drivers, we like the same type of car. Ben's very good at setting up the McLarens because he does so much in them, and we like driving the setup that he has. So I think as a team, we're all gelling and we're all learning how to drive the car as a unit, so it's going very well for us at the moment.
Good luck. How are your fingernails? They're looking all right. They're looking all right. Good luck.
Okay, for the moment, thank you.
Max Lynn then, who looks on. Horatio Fitz-Simon is having the race of his life here. Bob Neville, and another car in the gravel. That's Kolovos, isn't it? Kolovos Jr. in the Porsche. That's going to be an interruption, I'm afraid to say, because it's way, way off at Lesmo 1. Full course yellow is coming. I would offer you it's going to be a long one, because it's going to take a bit more time to get a recovery vehicle over there and drag it out of the gravel, because I think you'd have to do it from the inside of the circuit, not the outside. But we now go full course yellow. This is our 4th interruption of the race. What was your magic number of last year? 9 yellows or safety cars. So this is a full course yellow. So Luca Stolz is your race leader. He has made 1 pit stop in a race where you have to make 3 regulation pit stops. Second is Boccolacci, a 1-stopper. Third is Horatio Fitz-Simon on 1 stop. Let's listen in.
Okay, for our strategy, we have to do 1 more lap. This is a long full course yellow, so the pit lane will be open for 2 laps. Therefore, we will be doing driver change, tyre change, full tank of fuel. Okay, copy.
So that's 23, the Silver Cup leading car. Just going back to Jordan Pepper quickly, 35 seconds. That was just a splash of fuel. And what's happened here to number 5 McLaren? Well, you can see that it's got damage. The question really being, where's it come from? Mikey Porter has been rear-ended as though he slowed for the full course yellow and somebody behind did not.
I thought he was going to have a head-on with the sweeper as well as they came out of the second chicane. That was a huge amount of damage. Really good from the engineer RGN, painting a clear picture there to Fitz-Simon. I wonder if we're going to see some cars do a double stop here. So Fitz-Simon will hand over to Ben Dorr, and then will Ben Dorr come straight back in to get that 3rd and final stop done. And then they can do a splash and dash if they need and not go over.
Keeping an eye out of our window on the boots and pit box if I can, but I can't see it. So we need to look on the pit camera to see there. Doesn't look like the door is opened. Boccolacci staying in the car. Your numbers tally with the teams. They're keeping him in.
The Apex McLaren will finally come in. I think that might come in at the end of the next lap as well and get their 3rd stop out the way.
Yeah, as you were suggesting, Ben Dorr in and then do another lap. They're kind of doing the opposite of what we're predicting Boutsen to do. So you do, in this case, the driver change and then your last stop. They're doing Boutsen, if you like, the last stop and then do the driver change in the next one. So slightly in reverse.